Things just happen. See, my friends? The comedian associated with Lula, associated with the left, I think he's one of the most nefarious. Here. From social media, he made a video simulating the brutal death of Luciano Hung. His video was never penalized, even though it showed images of blood. With that baseball bat, committing all sorts of atrocities, making a very clear apology for violence. The video had thousands of views, obviously, right? He was never punished or accused of hate speech. But what happens now? He's upset because several cities are banning his show. I'll show you here. He went after Luciano Hang again and all that. He's acting this way and it's obvious. And they're trying to make all kinds of outrageous things stand out through violent actions, because they also know how the justice system is in our country, right? Nothing will ever happen. We'll also discuss Tagliaferro's situation now. Let's take this opportunity to address both topics at once. I can't understand. Go ahead and share this video, hit the like button. You're already here, smash that like button and help us get more engagement. Algorithms recognize our videos are good and support us. Join our family, subscribe to our channel. We can't understand how Tagliaferro falls in Zambiera. Giorgia Meloni is the Prime Minister, but she doesn't resolve these issues. The guys will want to. To a country that's full of leftists in politics. That's a fact, it's a fact. Caio Zambelli's situation was caused by a left-wing congressman. We saw how it was there, the friendship and all. Because to this day, we don't have the footage from Roma, Ali, from Rebento, from Zando, right? From Menino Peralta, all that mess. Nobody had access to the footage. Italy wanted to show Italy. Can you imagine both Tagliaferro and Carla Zambelli having peace of mind in Italy? Guys, they would have peace of mind there. Obviously not, right? It was obvious. And Edoardo Tagliaferro, today he was taken to the police station in Italy. Let's see, things are getting serious. His lawyer said, let's observe. Why is he making all these accusations? Obviously, you see how things are. Italy had an extradition request denied. When that Batiste guy who was in Brazil, and even in my city, I always mention it here. He lived here for a long time. Barroso was his lawyer. Barroso stated in court that he was innocent, owed nothing, and was never involved in anything. Later it was proven that Sacrobanta was guilty, and Barroso got a seat on the Supreme Federal Court because of that, for having helped to free a criminal here in Brazil. Then President Bolsonaro took office, and the man was sent to Italy. In other words, during Lula's administration, this guy was completely protected. Look at what Italy gets in return, right?
In contact with the Italian authorities, they said that Tagliaferro can't leave the city where he is. Because they have a notification to send, and this notification could be an extradition request. The police have not yet received a formal request, but there's no other justification for them to have taken Tagliaferro from his house, from his residence, and brought him into a police station. It was the Carabinieri, so Tagliaferro will go home today. And then we'll get more news as the day goes by. If it's an extradition request, let's remember that he doesn't have any cases in Brazil. If the cases are sealed, is that even worse? Because you can't have a case under seal by the Attorney General's office or under seal by the Supreme Court itself, and under seal even here in Italy. So another concern is that the Brazilian government might be working with the Italian government, some cooperation for extraditions.
Which is absurd, right? There are crimes because imagine the accused orders the arrest of the accuser. That's how it is here in Brazil. Here in Brazil, it's like that. Pitoli discussed it too.
What am I hearing about Edoardo Tagliaferro? Edoardo Tagliaferro was taken by Italian police after an extradition request. He was brought to a police station. To the court, the information I have is, I believe, exclusive. He is now undergoing a procedure. He will have to comply with a precautionary measure in Italy. However, he will not be arrested. I have an audio here from Tagliaferro himself, advised not to broadcast it, okay, saying, I'm going back home. However, what we already know is that he will not be able to leave the state where he is in Italy. He cannot leave Borgo, the region in Italy where he lives today. The Italian justice system is reviewing Alexandre de Moraes' extradition request. They go to Eduardo Tagliaferro's house, the apartment where he lives in Italy, claiming it's for a residence check, which is not true. It was in response to an extradition request. Initial reports say he won't be arrested, and Tagliaferro confirms at Maldi that he'll return home, Borgo.
Why didn't these people go to the United States of America? Especially him, right? But he'll understand, right? You see Spain, which is a socialist country in the state of Toulouse. Protestant. You can understand, right? Now we bring it here, guys. This is Interpol stuff and all. Today, under the command of Interpol, the international police, where is this Brazilian, the people? He asked Grok in artificial intelligence. The head of Interpol is the Brazilian born in Maranhão, known by Flavio Dino, praised by Lula. Look at him here, man. Look, it's desperate to know that these people are in charge of Interpol, guys. Look at what Grok replies. Yes, Valdeciro Urquiza is the current Secretary General of Interpol. Born in São Luís, Maranhão, he has professional connections with Dino, who supported him in positions in the federal police and welcomed him at the Supreme Federal Court. Lula publicly praised him, visited Interpol headquarters, and gave him the Order of Rio Branco. Oh my God. It's a shame this group is all deeply rooted. Many years of physical therapy, my friends. Imagine a gigantic setup. Bolsonaro, especially in the beginning, we remember he sent away several cronies, even physical therapy supporters. But there are still many inside the institutions. Look, it's a cultural thing. Not all, without generalizing, but many public servants, again, not all. They tend to be leftist because logically they want a big government. The bigger the government, the more they earn. It's complicated, right? Look here, see. Amnesty is constitutional. Look, Kim Payne posted here. He brought a wonderful thread. O Globo newspaper, 1988. The Stability Agreement comes out. When submitting the amendment, Congressman Carlos Alberto Oliveira of the Democratic Labour Party said the democratic transition can occur orderly, without armed movements. To get approval, he removed the part of the text that prevented amnesty for this crime. Even so, the amendment received 281 votes in favor, just one more than the minimum quorum. As the newspapers explain, he even brought the sources thanks to an agreement to vote on Carlos Alberto Cao's amendment. Amnesty for political crimes, including actions by armed groups, both civilian and military, against the constitutional order and the democratic state, became constitutional thanks to 281 members of the Constituent Assembly. The list of those who voted for the amnesty: Lula, Fernando Henrique Cardoso Alckmin, Temer, Nelson Jubim, and Cesar Maia. Estadão newspaper itself, Globo, revealing there, in this case, the amnesty announcements, which were approved at that time. So we notice, right? All those figures from São Paulo who were against the amnesty voted for the amnesty and received the amnesty. And we are seeing a lot of barbarity happening in Brazil because we see that justice is relentless in every way, right? Against people who didn't commit any crimes. Now we see this man here, honest, upright, and hardworking. Okay. He has been extremely threatened day and night and day, by several elements from the left. The comedian who made a video wishing for Luciano Hang's death is now having shows cancelled. The guy supports the physical therapy, has made controversial remarks against the right, and appeared in a video wishing Luciano Hang dead. With these credentials, Tiago Santinello had a stand-up show scheduled in the city of Brusque, well, Luciano Hang's city, on October 17th. The show was going to be held at the Brusque Business Social Cultural Center. The show is cancelled. I can't accept it. How do cities still hire someone as awful as this guy? The video he made simulating Luciano's death is much too serious. According to Alexandrine laws, he should be in jail. Him simulating the death of another human being. Imagine if he did that to Luisa. Trajano was arrested, but since it was with Luciano, he's free. According to the official statement, the decision was made after local business owners expressed opposition to holding the event. Because the comedian made comments and videos involving Luciano, several business owners contacted us questioning the reservation of the theater for the event. Due to negative mobilization, the business center contacted the production company and canceled the pre-reservation. The business center stated that the contract with the production company had not yet been signed. Santinelli responded on social media, labeling his opponents right-wing. Trash. What? Trash is you, man. Trash is you. You are trash. He pretends the death of people who are not politically aligned with him. He still gets upset when his shows are cancelled. Guys, this man can take all kinds of attacks, all kinds of outrageous things. There's not a single one from the justice who actually brings justice. That happened, those cancelled shows. Why did the promoters get so upset? From Brusque, I said, hold on. And obviously, I can't show you this video here. There, Tiago Santinelli wasn't punished. His video is still out there to this day, nothing happened. If I add a clip of his video here, could my channel be penalized instead of his? Is it? It's surreal to imagine that someone has the courage to make a video like that. We've seen people kick President Bolsonaro's head without consequences. For this crowd, we saw the Globo actress say she wanted President Bolsonaro's head. Scrape it on the asphalt, on the hot asphalt. Globo actress, and nothing ever happened, never. The federal police were at her house. I feel like saying everything that's on my mind. Share this video on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. In a little while, everything will be back with more news and information here on the Paise Filhos Fabiano Di Gay channel.